SLAPAFISH community, welcome back to another World Tanks console video. So in this video, I'm going to be driving the MBT 70, the main battle tank 70, which is the very first ever 3 premium tank. And this is also a heavy tank, believe it or not, because this tank has absolutely no armor. So also, I'm going to have 2 replays for you. One on Hellbrunn and one on Mannheim. The second one, I'll just go ahead and spoil it, will be a 10,000 damage game for the second game. So, yeah, there you go if you want to go ahead and skip to that one if you want to. So, right now, I'm just going to go over the equipment and crew skills I have on this tank. So, I actually just took this crew out of my Bradley because it's my most experienced Western Alliance crew with 8 skills. So, this tank has the advanced loader, gun stabilizer, advanced powertrain on it, and enhanced target info. I also have, for my skills, remember this is for my Bradley crew, so that's when it's a little bit weird, 6th Sense, Green Thumb, Born Leader, Deadeye, Muffle Shot, Camouflage Expertise, Supply Conservation, and Pain Tolerance. Also, I do want to mention that this tank does get three 3D skins. And they're all 3,000 gold apiece. You get a winter, a summer, no winter. You get a summer, a urban, and a desert. If you buy the tank and the bundle, you only get one camo, which is the desert camo, which is the 3D skin. So yeah, I actually have all 3 of them on my tank. So what else? What about this tank? This tank actually hits for 780 damage. It also has a rate of fire of 5.22. DPM 4072, which is decent for R3. The penetration is what's very lacking on this tank. It's 350 on its standard, 380 on its premium. Premium is also heat rounds. And your third round is actually ATGMs. You carry a limited of 5 ATGMs on this tank that has 450 millimeters of penetration with 1,100 damage dealt if you can actually pin your ATGMs. Now, this is a T-72 BU I'm fighting, which is a Era 3 Eastern Alliance. It's actually the top tank of that tech tree line. And this is how my 350 millimeters of penetration goes against this tank. Not good. Honestly, really not good. So I'm actually going to have to start flanking this guy to actually start pinning it. And when you start pinning in the MBT 70, it actually hits very hard at 780. 780 feels really nice for this tank. I also do want to mention, this tank has no armor. I want you to know, the frontal plate, the upper plate of the chassis has 69 millimeters of armor. 69! Think about that. It has no space on its hull. None. And I'm pretty sure the lower plate is actually thicker than the upper plate. It is, because the lower plate is 79 millimeters. So, yeah. That's what you're dealing with. I also do want to mention the turret armor it does have space armor on the turret armor, so you occasionally block shots. So there's 2 layers of the turret armor. It's at the front. It's 55 millimeters, and the other plate is 215. So it has okay armor. Because it's okay armor, it'll definitely hold against heat rounds and ATGMs. But really won't hold up against AP and APCR or APDFT. I think that's what it's called. Because every other tank has like 600 millimeters of penetration. But anyway, who cares? So, also, there's a unique factor of this tank. This tank actually goes 64 kilometers. Sorry, I have a powertrain. Also, this tank's pretty good at ramming. Goodbye, M8 AGS. So, this tank actually... So, let's talk about this battle right quick. Epic victory. Got 2nd place. 5,781 damage dealt. 2 kills. And yeah, made 469,000 silver. I also want to mention that I was using a ×2 silver boost in that game. So the silver boost on this game, on this tank, it's 55% silver boost. Your commander boost, you actually get a commander boost on this tank, it's 10%. And your XP boost is 20%. So it doesn't make a ton of silver. I mean, it makes a ton of silver just because it's Cold War, but it doesn't make a ton of silver. Like from Era 1 to Era 2, Era 1 tanks versus Era 2 tanks, you just make so much more silver in Era 2. But it's not like that in Era 2 to Era 3. It's just about the same as Era 2. So anyway, this tank. What do I want to say about this tank? This tank is, because it has like absolutely no armor, it's pretty much a paperweight. You're pretty much gonna play as a support tank. That's about it. You gotta play as a support tank. It also loaded ATGMs. Also, that's what ATGMs do to the MBT-70's turret. With that space armor, it protects it. Still dealt damage, but it didn't do the 1,100 damage that the ATGMs are capable of. And here's the light tank versus ATGMs. The armor's just gonna fail on the light tank. Unless it's a Bradley, because I did try ATGM for ATGM against the Bradley. The Bradley did like 700 damage to me, and it killed me. I did absolutely nothing to a Bradley. That was a true story. So, the unique feature of this tank is it goes 64 forward and 64 reverse. So it's actually really nice. It goes the same amount of reverse as forward, so it can get out of situations very quickly, and sometimes that reverse speed comes as very handy. And that was a really nice shot in the M1A2 back armor. Full pin. And now I'm just going to load the APFDS rounds and just shoot the M1A2. Goodbye. The M1A2 actually tracks me and deals damage to me. So yeah. So this tank you pretty much play as a support / sniper. It doesn't really do good in the sniper role because it has 0.3 accuracy and 2.5 second aim time. And I believe the shell velocity... You know what? I don't believe. I know for a fact. Shell velocity on this tank actually sucks. Not all its APFDS rounds, it's 1,420 for its standard. That's shell velocity. Its shell velocity for its heat rounds is actually really slow, so don't snipe in your heat rounds. It's 683, so it takes forever for your shell to actually get to the target. What else? Play this tank as a support, play as a sniper, and just load your ATGMs whenever you have the chance. When it's better to load the ATGMs. So if you're like moving into position, like at the very beginning, just load your ATGMs. Then the very first shot you take will be with your ATGMs, and you load your APFDS rounds. The deal to keep your DPM up. So basically load missiles when you have time to, when you're not going to be firing consistently. Then as soon as you fire your missiles, fire your standard or heat rounds. So yeah, what else do I want to say about this tank? 3,600 hit points, decently good for Era 2. I mean Era 3. The horsepower per ton on this tank is a 27.84. It kind of feels sluggish. It really does. Compared to every other tank in Era 3. This tank does feel pretty sluggish. Especially when it has like no armor. And for some reason I lit that guy on fire. Apparently the engine is actually in the front of this tank. Unless they're just the fuel tanks of the MBT-70. So far we're out to 8,454 damage in this game. Just got an ATGM fired at me from a Bradley, and trying to figure out where the Bradley is. There's the Bradley. Hello, Bradley. Just hit you with 700 damage. I mean, That gun hitting for 780 feels really nice, and you can rack up damage very quickly, as this game shows, if you actually start pinning the shells. The problem is pinning the shells because of the terrible penetration of this tank. But if you can actually pin the shells, then you're doing really nicely for yourself. Like 9,300 damage nicely in like the first 5 minutes in this game. So yeah, a 10,000 damage game in about 6 or 7 minutes, just because we had to go find the Bradley, is actually pretty dang good if you could pin shells. So yeah. What else do I want to say about the MBT 70? Do I recommend buying this tank? Maybe. Maybe at the base bundle. But I do feel like the Cat or the Mobat is a better deal, but I don't think you can get those tanks anymore. If you had the Mobat or the Cat, I would stick with that at Era 2. And it's the very first Era 3 premium tank. If you don't have a Era 3 and you don't want to grind to Era 3, and you just want to have a tank in each era, then sure, you can get it. Base bundle. Did 10,307 damage, 3 kills. Also, I don't have a ×2 silver boost on this game because I ran out. And you got first. So yeah, that's it for this game. This video, remember to like, comment, subscribe. Also remember to SLAPAFISH, because why would you not? And peace out. See ya.